The first thing I'm going to do on RTS DC1 is go to Add Roles and Features, and we're going to make this our iSCSI target server. So before you begin, we'll just go Next, Role Based. I'm going to choose my server I'm on, the RTS-DC1. Under my File and Storage Services, if I expand File in iSCSI, there is an iSCSI target server. That's what we want. So I'm going to choose Next. Features, we'll just click Next, and we will install. That is done, so I'm going to click Close. I'm going to refresh this screen just to make sure it has the iSCSI components updated. Now I'm going to expand my File and Storage Services, and iSCSI shows up. So here it says to create an iSCSI virtual disk, start the new iSCSI virtual disk wizard. So you can click that, or you can go to Tasks and click New iSCSI virtual disk. They open the same window. I'm on RTS DC1, and I'm going to create these on my C drive. So I'm just going to click the C volume here, and I'll just choose Next. And I'm going to name this iSCSI Disk 1. And I'm going to make this 100 gigs. And I'm going to make it a dynamically expanding disk. We talked about that already, because these are just virtual hard drives. Now it says, assign this iSCSI virtual disk to an existing iSCSI target. So I could choose existing if I had one, but since this is the first disk, I have to create a new iSCSI target. So I'm going to choose Next for that. Now it wants the name of the iSCSI target. Almost always, you'll just make that the name of the server it's actually on. Just avoids confusion. So I'm going to specify the target name as RTS-DC1, and I'm going to choose Next. Now it wants me to specify the access servers. The access servers are the servers that will actually connect to this. So I'm going to go to Add, and under this, enter a value for the selected types. I'm going to select IP address, and I'm going to enter the IP address of my other two servers. So I know RTS Serve 1 has an IP address 192.168.1.251. So I'm going to click OK. And I know the other has an IP address of 192.168.1.253. That's the address of the RTS Serve 2. So 192.168.1.253. So those are the IP addresses of my machines. Now, the IP address that ended with 252, that was our server core that we were using earlier. We deleted, so I just made RTS Serve 2 253. So I'm going to choose Next, and I'm not going to enable any of these authentication methods. But if you wanted to enable CHAP or reverse CHAP for authentication, this would simply let you specify a username and password that I would have to use when my other servers connect to this storage on the back end. But I'm going to leave both of those blank. So I'll just choose Next for that and Create. And I'll close that. That's my disk. Now, what I'm going to do is just add one more disk. So I'm going to go to New iSCSI Virtual Disk. I'm going to choose the C drive again, and I'm just going to go Next. And I'm going to name this one iSCSI Disk 2. And I'm going to make this the same size, 100 gigs, dynamically expanding. Now it says, do you want to use an existing target, the RTS DC1? I do. So I'm just going to choose Next for that and Create. And that is done. I don't need to do anything else on RTS DC1. Now I'm going to go to RTS Serve 1. When I connect to RTS Serve 1, I'm just going to sign in with my domain administrator account. I'm going to go to Tools, and iSCSI Initiator is always in the list. So you don't install anything to get this to show up. The very first time you click on it, it's going to tell you this Microsoft iSCSI service is not running. Do you want to start the service and set it to automatic? I do, so I'm just going to click yes. And it's going to open the iSCSI Initiator. Now, before I specify the target here, one more thing to glance at. I'm going to go to my computer management. And when I look in disk management, my server right now has disk 0, then it just has the CD-ROM. Well, when I go to this iSCSI Initiator, it says specify the target. Now, the target is the iSCSI target server. That's the RTS DC1. I'm just going to use the IP address, 192.168.1.250, and I'm just going to click Quick Connect. It says that's connected. Login succeeded, done. And I'm going to click OK for that. Now, notice that disk 1 and disk 2 both show up here. So what I can do is actually bring this online. Now I can initialize it. So I'm going to click Initialize Disk. Disk 1, I'm going to click OK. Now I can partition this. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to create a new simple volume. Next, we'll use the size that shows up, so the entire disk. It's going to be the drive letter E. So we'll choose Next. And for the format, I'm just going to choose the Resilient File System, refs. We'll go Next and Finish. What's pretty awesome about this, I now know on this server, when I go to this PC, now I'm on RTS Serve 1. When I open the E drive and I create a new folder, I'm just going to name it Finance Data. So this is really saved back to the iSCSI target server, which is our RTS-DC1. But we just have a connection to this on RTS Serve 1. Now, we will do the same exact thing from RTS Serve 2. So I'm going to connect to RTS Serve 2. On RTS Serve 2, I'm just going to sign in with my domain administrator account. And we're going to repeat exactly what we did on RTS Serve 1. I'm going to go to Tools, iSCSI Initiator, and I'm going to just specify the IP address of RTS DC1, which is 192.168.1.250. I'm going to click Quick Connect, and it says that is connected. Now, you could use the name instead of the IP address. I just prefer to use the address, and no reason other than just a preference. But to verify that did work, I'm going to click on my computer management. We'll go to disk management when that opens, and you'll see disk 1 shows up, but on this host, it's offline. So I'm just going to right click and bring it online, and that's it. When I click on this PC, you'll see that the E drive now shows up. So we know that completely works. From RTS DC1, we have our centralized storage and our iSCSI SAN. And now my Serve 1 and Serve 2 both have connections to that. So the E drive on either machine, anything you save goes back to that centralized storage on the iSCSI. Pretty fascinating concept.